Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that's Connor, this is Firefly, and we are going to talk about Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events, Season 2, Episode 7. It's called The Hostile Hospital Part 1. Full spoilers for the episode, as always. So, we left the kids last time off in the fire truck into the distance, and we kind of pick up pretty much straight away with that. I mean, obviously,
they're on the road.
There's some Lemony Snicket, introductions with him getting in a box, and
he's on the lam.
He's on the lam, which the kids then say later on as well. It's funny. This show's making me realise how there's some words that I know what they are, but I never really, I don't know where I understood them from beyond just getting them from context growing up. Like, no one ever explained to me what on the lam meant. I knew what it meant.
I think that's just that's the way that you learn language. Typically, it's why learning language in a classroom typically is really hard for most people. Whereas if you just go and live in a country, you pick it up from someone points at an orange and says the word, you're going to learn it.
But but I remember doing vocabulary in school. I remembered here's various
but
words.
You don't learn idioms.
Yeah. I just it's one of those phrases that I feel like I never really thought to define that, even though I know exactly what it means.
You just understand through context, and then it's like, well, that's what that means. So, yeah.
Anyway, so the kids are on the run, and it's funny because we've been mentioning over the last couple that it seems like the formula they're starting to really shake it up, and we say it's been kind of like gradually been more shook up as the season's went along.
Yeah, I'd say it's just gone now.
Yeah, well, that's actually one of the comments we got on, I think part one of the Vale Village was even in the books, once it got to this point that they go to a guardian, Olaf shows up, no one knows it's him. That's kind of gone. Obviously the elements we're keeping it, that we're in a new location and we've still got Olaf dressing up, but beyond that, it's doing its own thing, sort of progressing forward, and the kids are very much like, no, there's a mystery to find out here, to discover, to unravel. What is VFD? What were our parents involved in? What was Jacques Snicket talking about? All this stuff. And that leads them to the hospital because they get... Well, there's actually a nice little sequence that I really enjoyed, which actually kind of bookends the episode, because the sequence at the end kind of is a similar kind of sequence where they're running from Olaf, because they're in a small gas station, and Olaf shows up, and they're kind of like ducking and diving between the aisles and like sort of peeking out behind and all that. Yeah. That actually happens again at the end of the episode in a much bigger setting, but and they eventually run away, but they get picked up by this little hippie van with VFD written on it, which stands for...
How much did you hate them?
Oh, I wanted them to die almost immediately.
Yeah, I knew you were going to hate them with a passion.
I was like, if someone could just ram a railroad spike through their heads right about now, that'd be lovely. Hey, Sonny, those teeth, put them to work on their throats. Do it about now, please. Thank you.
Yeah, that would be nice.
So happy and so singy. I like it.
I knew you would dislike this. I watched this first. I sent a message going, "You're gonna hate this."
Well, but the exact way you phrased it is, you're gonna hate this episode, and
I thought they might come back up a bit more, but they kind of went away after about halfway.
Because the funny thing is a lot of the rest of this episode was way more fine-tuned to my taste than maybe you were going to realise at this point. Because the rest of it was, oh no, it's like not a horror movie, but what they're playing with and the way Olaf's setting up his plans and stuff is very horror movie-esque.
Let's not forget the reference to The Shining.
There's a reference to The Shining straight up at one point with the twins. Of course, the joke here being that they're ancient and not little girls. But
but it's still nice little reference.
It's the thing, because there's a moment before it actually kicks off, and you see that he's got this plan to scare the... I was going to call her the receptionist, but she repeated like 5 times that she actually is the head of the administration, the head of something else, and then of course, and the planning committee or the party committee. Yeah. But they're going to scare her to death, so they've set up this elaborate ruse. But before that starts, he's like just walking down the one of the corridors, and he's got a bat or a bar over his shoulder, and it's just the way he's walking with a swagger, and it's sort of dark and the lights are flickering. I'm like, this looks like a slasher movie. When did this change?
And then he starts smashing out the lights as he goes, like swinging it.
It feels like the villain in something like... I'm trying to not the Warriors, but it feels like... Because obviously he's dressed up in the Doctor get-up, right? We'll get to his disguise in a minute. But it reminds me of like an over the top action movie where they've got gimmicky sort of themes, and he's like the doctor, like bad guy who the main hero has to fight about halfway through, and this is his introduction before they have to fight the evil doctor. That's what it kind of feels like, this scene. But they have this elaborate thing where they're, you know, they're buying. I like how the thunder was buying the bedpan. Like, you know, that was part
and
of
it
it.
distorts through it, and it's like, okay, and the lightning is just, you know, flashing the fuses and stuff.
Yeah, but of course, when we see her reacting to it, it's actually a proper effect, even though it wouldn't actually look like that. It's fun, really, really fun. But so they stay calm with the volunteers. And of course they're wanted for murder, hence they've been on the lam. So they're constantly sort of ducking and diving, people recognising them. And
it's lucky that the checklisting skills was pretty poor, wasn't it? Because you had the main guy
with the beard,
the first one, main
guy with goatee, and then other volunteers.
Yeah, and it's just like, well, there you go.
We'll see. Then when Olaf and his crew come in and they're all dressed up, right? And he's like thinking of his name, and of course it's, you know, Doctor. What was the first name?
Oh, I can't tell you now. It was too long to remember.
Yeah, but the last name was Medical School.
Matthiasson or something like that.
Yeah, Matthias Medical School. And I only remember them. Obviously, it's just medical school, but I remember how it sounds because it sounded like the word nickel, the way he said it.
Yeah,
Nickel School.
He was criticising Esme's choice of costume.
Yep. Wasn't appropriate enough. So I never believe you went to medical school. And then, of course, 2 seconds later, he uses that as his name. And of course, he kind of gets away with it. But of course, later on, the other dude, what's his name? Hal, the guy who runs the Hall of Records, which apparently this hospital has such a good Hall of Records. They even non-medical bodies send them the records so they can keep track of all the files for them.
Yeah, why not?
And they're not to be read; they're just to be filed.
Yeah, he manages to get a lot of information from a very quick glance. I was impressed.
He does. I know this is the joke, but I really got upset at one point with his filing technique because he says, "I'm going to file you under," I can't remember what word it was, but the point being is it was an adjective. He was like, "I'm going to file you under G for good friends," and I'm like, F for friends. Friends is the word there that makes is the important part.
Yeah. There was the same again later. It was talking about like the last week's weather report. Just like, should I do it under weather or last week?
Yeah, because last week will be relevant in 10 years when someone's looking for this. And I know that's the joke, but it just, my OCD just got a little bit angry.
Punch him, don't you?
Yeah. So, and obviously they set up the Chekhov's gun, and by that I mean the shoot for the outgoing files. Well, okay, so someone's going to shoot later on because they set it up and all that. But no, I really dug this because it was really different again from the previous episodes, and it was like them on a mission, them trying to find stuff, and of course they get a glimpse of this film with the word Snicket on it came in, so they get to see that. They don't get to see all of it. They get to see the first little bit of it, which didn't get to the full thing, the full, you know, the reveal of all this. What is VFD? What is going on? Just a little thing though, where Snicket. So we see Jacques Snicket in the footage. He's being debriefed, and he mentions that someone may have survived one of the fires.
Yeah.
Which of course the kids get very excited at because I mean it could be one of their parents.
Yeah, which means it's almost certainly not.
Which is it's almost certainly not. After season 1 with the Quagmire parents being that twist, I'm not trusting this at all.
Exactly.
But hey. Maybe Lemony's alive. I don't know. I've never outright said if he's like, you know.
Well, Lemony is alive. He's telling this story from the future, right? That's the point.
How do you know it's from the future? I honestly, when this show started, I assumed he was dead and he was telling this from beyond the grave.
Okay.
Because it's so meta and it's so.
It was the way, like in this episode, he was saying, "I'm telling you this while I'm on the lam." You know,
okay, this episode, sure, but that's what I'm saying. Since the start of this show, I've got this otherworldly esqueness to it.
That's fair enough. I've never got that. I've always just got that he's telling the story from present day to him, but the future from where the rest of the story is.
Well, yeah, obviously that part, but I just didn't take it as literally he was alive and he was telling this story.
No, okay. I always just assumed he was.
I mean, because when he was talking about wanting to speak to his brother again a few episodes ago, I took that to mean he was already dead, and that's why he can't speak to his brother anymore.
Yeah, see, I took that to mean Jacques was dead.
No, I took that to mean Lemony's dead.
Which, of course, Jacques was dead now, so that tracks.
Sure, but they could both be dead.
Well, they could be, sure, but
I don't know. I'm
know.
surprised you think he's for sure alive.
I don't think. I just shocked that we've never got to this before. I'd never had any inclination that he might be dead.
Dead or just just. And when I say that, I don't mean he's literally a ghost telling a story. Just in the way that he's, I don't know. I don't know. I don't necessarily. I just the way he talks to us as the audience, the way it all does. I've just always had this feeling that he's not. This is not literal. He's not actually just telling someone a story.
Oh, okay. I genuinely think he is, but fair enough. This has shocked me.
Because I always thought the way he's like so distant from the story that no one like sure he's referenced because his brother's there now, but he was so distant from everything. It always felt to me like he was connected to all this in the past, but he's been gone for a while, and he's an observer to all this, which is why he can tell us all this story.
Okay. No, I definitely think he's hunting down the mystery in parts as well. Like maybe he's telling some of it as he's learning it. I don't know. I mean, we find out he is a bit more connected as well this episode than we thought, because he drops a little thing about the sugar bowl.
He does, yeah. But again, that kind of goes back into my whole thing about this is in his past and this is like before he died kind of thing. But
in his past, definitely. But I don't think he's dead.
All right, so you think we're going to get live interacting Lemony Snicket with the main kids by the end of the show?
Maybe right at the end, but
I wouldn't expect it before the end, but yeah.
Maybe, but even if not, I still think it's maybe he's investigated this and he's figured out the story and is then passing the story along.
Do you know what it is as well? It's the intros at the start of every story with the Beatrice stuff, which are really funny, by the way.
Oh, this one cracked me up.
Yeah, summer without you is really cold. Winter without you is just even colder.
Yeah. So it was summers without you were as cold as winter.
Yeah, that's what it was. And then winter without you is just really, really cold. Nah, some of them were really morbid as well. I think the last one was like a really morbid. It was like something is dead and so are you. So it's the line. But I think it's just the melancholy with that as well kind of feels like, I don't know, I've just always got the impression this is like him reminiscing about the awful things that happened because of something he was a part of when he was alive. I don't know. It's just a gut feeling.
We went off on one here, and I was not expecting this.
I'll be honest, you saying you think he's definitely alive and this is all actually happening with him on the run, I took it all as being more metaphorical, like it all just kind of...
No, I'm assuming, whatever's gone on with VFD into the future, he is on the run for some reason now, and he's telling this story for a reason.
Hey, you may be completely right, but for whatever reason, from day one, I got the feeling that this was I regret how my life went, and all this stuff happened because of something I was a part of, so I'm telling this story because I witnessed all this from above. Or whatever.
We will find out, I'm sure. Or maybe not.
Maybe not. Maybe it'll be left intentionally kind of vague.
Maybe it will. But I want people to tune in now, because I have no idea anymore.
Well, no, but they've all read the book, so they can't tune it. They can't chime in because they know for sure.
Fine. If you don't know for sure, give us your inclination.
But they also may have finished the season. They may have more concrete information for the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think of that.
So don't chime in.
Yes, leave very sly comments.
All right, what were we talking about before you went on that?
Idea.
Oh, we're talking about the film. Parent Might Be Alive.
Yes. Yeah.
And I said it might be Snicket because I've thought he's dead this whole time. That's what it got us on this.
Okay. I mean, that would make Snicket one of the parents, right?
That's true. Yeah, which I don't think it necessarily is, but it was a blink of the eye idea I had in the moment as I was saying it. It wasn't really.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
But hey, so by the end of this episode, though, the kids seem to think the sugar bowl. They don't know it's called that, admittedly. I mean, they might hear her say it briefly at one point, but
I don't think they do, because she makes a point of being really vague and makes her think she's on about the film.
Yeah, because she has it's round. She thinks it's the film, and it's full of secrets.
Round, full of secrets. Yeah.
Which does come back to me thinking the sugar bowl's not a literal sugar bowl, because what she describes there sounds like no, that's something else. That's.
Yeah, I'm intrigued, unless it is, it's a sugar bowl, but there's something inside it, there's something like, printed onto the ceramics on the inside, maybe.
I'm always just wondering if Sugar Bowl is just the name of it. Like,
Yeah,
it's something
could be.
called Sugar Bowl.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think the way they word it. I mean, maybe.
I know. I'm just. But anyway, so, no, I liked all that stuff. And I liked Esme, like, horroring up herself and basically being the Velociraptors in Jurassic Park, with chasing them around
Yeah.
all the single file cabinets that weren't touching each other, like a grid. It was really weird.
Yeah.
Obviously,
I,
it's quirky set design. They obviously were going for a
it
quirky
was.
thing.
I also love that, when she comes out, right, I'm gonna go and get a new outfit, and she comes back as Cruella de Vil. That gave me a good chuckle.
Also, it's funny. Obviously, later on, they actually made a point of using this. But as soon as they showed you the close-up of her shoes, I was like, man, those heels are like blades.
Yeah.
It's a bit extreme. And I thought it was just like a stylistic touch. But then eventually she started taking them off.
Just use them as blades.
To try to actually stab the kids with them. I'm like, alright, okay.
Yeah.
Let's get dark. One of my favourite little jokes in this, actually, is Olaf, he's watching the security cameras, right, trying to find the kids. Because they eventually, Babs, the woman, they tie her up, and they commandeer the hospital, and they're like, oh, we're going to search all the rooms over the comms, right? But he's in the security room, and he's watching the cameras, trying to find the kids, and he's flicking through the channels, he says, I hate boring television. And there's just this moment where he just looks at the camera, and then goes back to the scene. It's just a little meta moment of like, this is really boring, isn't it?
Yeah.
So no, I dig that. Of course, the kids have the whole moral quandary because they have to steal the guy's keys, and he's a really nice man, and they think he's
He
really.
keeps saying how he trusts them more than anyone else.
Yeah, which is a really weird extreme statement to say when you've just met them that day. But so yeah, honestly, this might be my favorite episode so far.
No, that's fair. I can see it.
I think the Doctor get up was really one for me. Which, by the way, there was times in this where I was like, if I didn't know this was Neil Patrick Harris, this would be like a proper disguise where I couldn't tell it was him.
Yeah, it was actually much better than his regular ones, wasn't it?
I think it's because the hat was covering like so much of like above his eyes, and then you've got the beard and goatee. Like, I feel like it doesn't hide the fact that it's Count Olaf. I can see it's Olaf because I've seen him in the Olaf like beard, like sideburns and makeup before. But if I hadn't seen any of that before, and you just showed me an image of this in this episode,
you probably wouldn't say it's Neil Patrick Harris.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I think it's we haven't really talked about him much this season because we praised him a lot last season.
Oh sure,
he's
yeah,
still doing a fantastic job, isn't he?
Oh, it's great. There's lots of little moments. He's sinister when he needs to be, but in a comical way. There's little quirky things here or there. I'd mentioned the cameras thing. When he misses his cue. When Babs is screaming, he's like, oh, that's my cue, after a couple of seconds of just standing there. Or even earlier on, when he's like, follow that van! And the henchman's like, boss, you're... And he's like, oh, yes! Yeah, because he's in the driver's seat.
Did you watch the theme this time, the opening music?
I did, actually, yes, I left it on.
I really like the way he rhymed actor with doctor. But like the way he spins both words so they properly rhyme, like all the way through.
That's just fudging the language there to make a song work.
It was, but it was like... I'll allow it because it's Olaf singing it, essentially.
Oh sure, yeah. That's his whole thing. I feel like they're really inconsistent with how smart or dumb Olaf is, because sometimes he won't understand words, and then he'll use like another word that's like, yeah. I feel like if you don't know what those words mean, you probably shouldn't know what that word means.
Yeah, I know, that's true.
But hey, no, I liked all the hospital stuff. I like it as a setting. It's a very, again, they're going for this kind of like horror hospital kind of vibe. I was half expecting Michael Myers to walk around the corridor at one point.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Because Halloween 2 is set in a hospital, if people don't know that. The original Halloween 2. I mean, the remake's also set in a hospital, but we don't talk about that. So...
it goes and hides inside a sugar bowl.
What?
Secrets. Not to be known.
This joke's
It works in a roundabout way.
No, I don't think it does.
It does in my mind. That's all that matters.
But you think they're going to find the sugar bowl and Michael Myers is going to pop out?
No, I'm saying he belongs. The Halloween 2 remake belongs in the sugar bowl because it's a secret. It should be left hidden.
All right, okay.
See, it works. I mean, it doesn't. It's shit now. You maybe go through it all, but it was there.
Oh, are you done with the comedy?
I'm
Air quotes.
finished.
All right, we can move on. So no, Olaf's great. Esme is great. I like those two playing off each other, bickering about the right costumes, medical school, her
versus orphans.
her storming off. The random joke where she doesn't know what coffee is. She was looking for the what was it? The parsley, yeah, parsley soda. She was looking for a vending machine that served parsley soda. It's like, oh, they only have this brown water, and it's I've had like 3 cups of it already. It's kind of horrible, but I love it.
But I feel amazing.
Yeah, which is a really random joke. There's been like no setup to suggest that she's the sort of person who has avoided something like that her whole life.
No, there's not. I guess coffee's just not in the city.
Coffee's like the most in thing ever.
I know.
That's what people in the city do.
They go to Starbucks in this world.
Yeah, they go to Starbucks and they talk about the I don't know, their frivolous lives. But here's the big thing. So the episode ends, and we actually get so we get the Velociraptor in Jurassic Park looking down the aisles, which is Esme, and the kid's chasing away, and she's shouting things. I particularly enjoy when she was taunting them, where they're sort of peeking around one side, and she's like, "Hello," and they peek around the other. She's like, "Hello, darlings," and doing the thing back and forth, and they go down the chute, but it's Klaus gets in there, Sonny gets in there, but then Esme starts knocking over the stacks of the file cabinets, and it actually blocks access to it. So Violet has to run, and she's chasing on her own. It's like, oh, but this is interesting. They're being separated. I feel like that's not happened yet. They've always been a trio, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I've had scenes separately when they're in the school and stuff, but like this is like no, they're separated. They're like
the longest I can think of were they separated a bit in the one on the lake in season 1. I thought they might have been separated a little bit.
Oh, you mean with the house up on top of the hill?
Yeah.
Possibly, I can't remember.
But yeah.
She might be in danger because she's on her own for a change. And sure enough, the episode ends with her getting grabbed by Olaf. That's the end of the episode. Is that she's actually been taken?
It makes it a very different, 2-part, because now it's okay. She's got to escape / be rescued.
Yeah, depending on how they go about it. So, as you're saying, here's something we've not had any Larry or Jacqueline yet, or even Paul.
No.
All of our allies who are supposed to be helping, although they're pretty useless in the grand scheme of things, haven't. Yeah. The one useful guy we had is dead.
Yeah, it's not great, is it? But I mean, hey, maybe the librarian will train up a bit, and
maybe
she'll be useful too.
Maybe she'll come swooping in and help save the day. But no, I had a lot of fun with this one. I feel like I don't think it's as funny as some of the episodes have been, and obviously one of the big things we love about this show is how funny it can be. Yeah. But this episode for me was like a nice breath of fresh air. It felt very focused. It felt very straight to the point what it was doing. Obviously all the filing stuff was funny, but then it was like all this set up horror scene in the hallways of the hospital, and then it was the actual horror scene of Esme again, the Velociraptor in Jurassic Park. And when I say the Velociraptor, I'm specifically referencing the scene of the kitchen in Jurassic Park. Before anyone questions me and asks
why she's not sprinting after them.
Yeah, it's not like that scene with the guy in Jurassic Park where the side they flank him and he's like, clever girl. It's not that scene. It's the kitchen scene with the kids.
Yeah. I think people got that.
I'm just making that clear. There we go. So we're left in quite a predicament, and I'm looking forward to the rest of this hospital.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Story.
In a very different way.
Very different. This was good. So you could let us know what you thought of episode 7 in the comments, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on the Twitters at mail_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/mailfuzztv. You can do that in there's a link in the description, is what I meant to say there. Went through enough. Yeah. Unlike last episode where I sped through the outro in about 3 seconds, this one took a bit more waffling. That's us, guys. Thank you once again for watching. I always appreciate it. Keep watching TV. Have you got any vanilla?